Now, you all heard that. How many of you would want to be spoken to that way? How many of you want to be spoken to that way? We're not talking about politics. We're not talking about even gun violence. How many of you would want to be spoken to that way? The reason that I believe the sponsor of this legislation, of this resolution, spoke that way is because he's comfortable doing it. Because there's a decorum that allows it.
I will never forget our coverage of that moment that night. That was Tennessee State Representative Justin J. Pearson. On the night he was expelled from the legislature nearly 2 months ago in Tennessee, he was almost immediately reappointed temporarily to the legislature by a county commission, but now he has to run for his seat in the legislature in a special election.
Hey everybody, happy first day of early voting. You can now go and vote at Riverside Missionary Baptist Church, downtown at the Shelby County Election Commission, and also at Baker Community Center in Millington. I am so glad that together we are going to reclaim our representation and continue our fight for democracy and our voice to end gun violence, to end environmental injustice and environmental racism, and to ensure that our voices are continuously heard in Nashville.
Joining us now is Democratic State Representative Justin J. Pearson of Tennessee. Thank you very, very much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. So now you're back on the campaign trail to hold on to that seat. What are the issues for you in this campaign?
I mean, the issues for us always remain the same. It is the elevating of people who have been marginalized and oppressed in our community for too long. Folks in our community want to see an end to gun violence and want just legislation to be passed. Today, like many days, has shown us the importance of environmental justice and the end of environmental racism, when we saw in the debt ceiling deal the push for Mountain Valley Pipeline, which is an immoral piece of fossil fuel infrastructure. And folks in our community have faced that fight before, and that is an issue people want to see. And folks want to see investments in our communities that elevate us, not oppress us, that make sure that the ideals of inclusion that we have and that we care about become realities for the people in our district and in our state. And it is a statement that our democracy cannot be turned into a mobocracy by the people in Nashville who seek to rule over us instead of be ruled by the people.
What has it been like for you being in the legislature since you were expelled? How do you deal with your Republican colleagues who voted to expel you? How do they deal with you?
No. The institution has not changed significantly. It is still rooted in white supremacy, still rooted in patriarchy, and that spirit is still a part of the institution. As the speaker, Cameron Sexton, William Lambert, are still trying to make reasons for why they can silence people's microphones and stop debate from Democrats and for particularly the members of color and black members. And so the institution has not changed significantly. That's the truth. But the reality is the voices of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people across our state in Tennessee have been awakened to the issues of democracy that we have, and also to the issue of gun violence, not only in mass shootings, but also in our communities that we experience every day. And that perspective is starting to have effect. We have a special session coming up on August 21st. We have legislation that is being advocated for by people who are Republicans and conservatives, who are in places and in parts of Tennessee that I haven't been yet, but who are saying we need to do something about gun violence, that our right to life is more important than the immutability of the Second Amendment. And so that gives me a lot of hope in this moment that the people are rising.
Have any of the Republicans who spoke against you that day or voted against you that day come to the realization of what a mistake it was for them because of the way it exposed them literally around the world?
I don't. None of them have told me that they have had an awakening moment. But what we do know is that by the attention that has been brought on Tennessee and the Tennessee General Assembly, the ways that they are behaving, the ways that they are acting cannot continue to go on without people holding them accountable. Yes, they put myself and Representative Jones, Representative Johnson on trial, but they really put themselves on trial. And the entire country can see now the mobocracy and the way that the institution is operating, where we had a member of our body who sexually assaulted a 19-year-old vote to expel myself, Representative Johnson, and Representative Jones, but Speaker Sexton did nothing about that. That's the type of institution that we are in, and it is going to require a lot of investment and a lot of energy for us to change a status quo that is bent on making sure that the voices of communities already oppressed are consistently oppressed. But we are not going to give in. We are not going to quit fighting.
And the most important question for voters, when is Election Day?
Yeah, the primary is June 15th. And the general is August 3rd. And we encourage everybody to go vote early, and you can go to votejustinj.com to find your polling place. We have to restore our belief in democracy and our representation.